on News OSU. We get into how inflation affects your credit card and increases your interest rate. Later, we see how student athletes experience added pressure and how that is damaging to their mental health. All that and more on News OSU. Hello and welcome to News OSU. Today is April 26th. I'm Jolie Salee. We're glad you're with us. Two of the highest level U.S. officials traveled to Kyiv to meet with President Vladimir Zelensky and other Ukrainian officials. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin traveled to the country's capital to discuss how the U.S. can aid Ukraine. Austin says he wants to see Russia weakened so that there won't be another tragedy like this again. Blinken and Austin also discussed the Biden administration's intention to provide $713 million in additional foreign military financing to Ukraine, along with the discussion to aid Ukraine. It was made clear that the U.S. military would not get involved in the war directly. Russia continues to attack steel plants in Mariupol, where the site has become one of the last significant holdouts of Ukrainian forces in the besieged city. Elon Musk will take over Twitter after sealing the deal with a $44 billion offer. The news comes 11 days after the Tesla and SpaceX CEO shocked the industry by offering to buy the social media giant. Less than a month ago, Musk revealed he had taken more than a 9% stake in the company. With Musk in full control of Twitter, he promises to have new features and change the current content moderation and make the company go private. Shareholders will receive $54.20 in cash for each share of Twitter stock they own. Since the deal, Twitter stock went up 6%, and to the final approval of the deal, shareholders and regulators will evaluate the offer. In other news, Governor Stitt signed Senate Bill 612 into law on April 12, 2022. Senate Bill 612 is an act relating to abortion. The bill prohibits the performance or attempt to perform an abortion. SB 612 passed with a vote of 38-9 in the Senate and 70-14 in the House. The bill states if a person is convicted of performing or attempting to perform an abortion, he or she will be found guilty. The fine is up to $100,000 and up to 10 years in prison.
I represent all 4 million Oklahomans, and they overwhelmingly support protecting life in the state of Oklahoma. We want Oklahoma to be the most pro-life state in the country. We want to outlaw abortion in the state of Oklahoma.
In February, consumer debt rose more than $40 billion, a jump of more than 11%. This is the highest it's been in 2 decades. More Americans are now relying on their credit cards to keep bills paid as inflation has skyrocketed to a 40-year high. I found out more on how you can keep track of your spending. Inflation has a direct effect on the purchasing power of consumers. Higher prices for goods and services due to inflation reduce what a dollar will buy today. Consequently, consumers look to increase their buying power for everyday needs by relying on credit cards. However, this can add to personal debt. According to the Federal Reserve, consumer credit, the amount advanced to people for purchases, spiked by $41.8 billion across the U.S. in February. The rise is significantly higher than the $8.9 billion increase in January. As prices rise, Americans are turning to their credit cards to get by, but experts caution that it's more important to make sure that your debt doesn't get out of hand. Here are some ways that you can ensure more money at the end of your month as opposed to more month at the end of your money.
Try to limit your excess spending, find what's important and what you need to actually get through, and your basic budgeting and financial planning is what would really help.
Making the minimum payment on credit cards may keep you from missing your payment due date, but it's a costly debt repayment method. That's because credit card interest rates are at a high of 16.44%. Plus, unpaid credit card balances compound interest daily, which can build over time.
When inflation is as high as it is, interest rates also tend to increase. So interest rates, as you've seen, mortgage rates are going up, other rates are going up to just combat the effects of inflation.
If you're struggling to repay credit card debt, consider a few debt repayment methods like visiting a credit counselor or opening a balance transfer card. This is a type of card that allows you to move the balances of one or more cards onto a new credit account with a lower interest rate. For News OSU, I'm Jolie Salee. The ongoing discussion of Stillwater's public schools bathroom policy continues. The policy allows students to use the bathroom that matches their gender identity. Education Secretary Ryan Walters wants this policy gone. After a meeting to come up with a solution, the Stillwater Board of Education has reached out to the Oklahoma Department of Education to go about this policy. For now, Stillwater Public Schools will continue with the policy. According to the Mayo Clinic, 44% of college students report having symptoms of depression or anxiety. Most of this is due to pressure from school social lives and expectations. But what about college students who have the added pressure of being an athlete? Katie Pelzel has more on mental health and college athletes.
We watch athletes battle it out on the field, but what we don't realize is when they step off the field, they may be battling something else entirely, mental health. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, about 30% of female and 25% of male student athletes report having anxiety. However, only 10% of all college athletes get help from a mental health professional. Anxiety for student athletes can be caused by a variety of things, including high expectations from coaches, teammates, and fans.
Athletes are a little more susceptible to, I have to be Superwoman or Superman and I can't have any problems. So it's probably even more underreported in the student athlete population.
Many athletes are scared to make mistakes because they fear losing their starting spots.
There were times I would feel this knot in my stomach and my skin start to crawl and my hands start to shake and eyes well with tears because I was so afraid to play and make a mistake.
Student athletes live a life very visible to the rest of the university. They also have to balance family, exams and classwork, tutoring, meetings, workouts, practice, and any other team event. On top of that, athletes are expected to maintain a healthy social life and take care of themselves. Dr. Trevor Richardson works with athletes and says he starts by checking eating and sleeping habits. He then will work with athletes to make a plan that works for each individual.
Not everybody needs to come see a professional like me, but the key is finding someone that you connect with, finding someone that you trust, that you can be open about. Hey, I'm struggling with this.
Mental health professionals hope that as elite athletes start to speak up, more college athletes and students will feel comfortable seeking help. There are many resources for students and athletes at OSU. The Student Wellness Center provides counseling services as well as some fun programs like Pete's Pet Posse. For News OSU, I'm Katie Pelzel.
Stillwater residents need to be aware of scams involving rental properties. A Stillwater couple lost thousands of dollars due to a rental scam where they paid for a home that they still don't own. The couple came across a house for rent on Craigslist and tried to contact the number on the listing. Though they weren't able to call the number, they were able to text it. After signing the contract and sending the suspect a deposit, it was move-in day for the couple. However, their new home had recently been sold to another buyer. Now, Stillwater Police Department is warning the community to look out for these scams. When house hunting, here's how you can avoid getting caught up in a scam. Check the county assessor's website to verify that the person does own the property. Verify the contact number on an online search engine to make sure to have voice conversations. Go to the property for a walkthrough with the owner or manager if it's cheaper than the other houses in the neighborhood. Take that as a sign of a scam. You might recognize Johnny Depp from the popular Disney movie Pirates of the Caribbean. Yesterday, he took the stand for the fourth and final time in his $50 million lawsuit against his ex-wife, Amber Heard. Depp was cross-examined about the testimony he gave last week. Depp's lawsuit against his ex-wife is in response to Heard's 2018 opinion and editorial in the Washington Post about surviving domestic abuse. While she never mentioned Depp, he asserts it got him removed from his starring role in Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean series. The defense, however, says there was abuse by Depp in the marriage and that he was a man full of rage and anger. The trial started on April 11th and is set to last 6 weeks. Heard has filed a $100 million defamation countersuit that is ongoing. She has yet to take the stand. April is Sexual Assault Awareness and Consent Month. One is Too Many is encouraging everyone to wear jeans in support of Denim Day on April 27th. In Italy in 1992, an 18-year-old girl was assaulted by a 45-year-old driving instructor. He was arrested and years later released after the Italian Supreme Court overturned his conviction. The court argued that the victim was wearing too tight of jeans and she might have helped him remove her jeans. Women in the Italian parliament protested wearing jeans on the steps of the Supreme Court. The goal of Denim Day is to spread the message. It doesn't matter what a person is wearing. Consent is never implied. One is Too Many is giving away AirPods to a student or faculty member. Post a picture wearing your favorite pair of jeans and tag at OK State One is Too Many and use the hashtag Denim Day to enter. For more information, visit www.oneistoo-many.okstate.edu.
Hitting the books may be coming to the end, but hitting the field is still going strong. The Oklahoma State baseball team had it tough this weekend as its Big 12 series winning streak snapped Sunday. The number 2 Cowboys fall to 10th-ranked TCU at O'Brien Stadium. OSU's had to fight hard all the way to the end, finding themselves in quite the battle. It would be a close game for the Cowboys, but would ultimately come up just short. The OSU rallied with 2 runs in the 9th to give them a chance with runners on first and second and 2 outs. It would be on the shoulders of Nolan McClain. The comeback would fall short when he was struck out. With the loss, the Cowboys fall to 27-13. This loss puts them down into second place in the Big 12. TCU gets put into the first place spot and makes the Big 12 Conference one to watch down the season. The Cowboys will return to action Tuesday with a showdown against Wichita State when they travel to Riverfront Stadium in Wichita, Kansas to face off against the Shockers.
Just what I keep talking to them about doing, not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Just be right here. If you do that, something special might.
Isn't the only one doing good this season. The OSU softball team finds themselves going 38-7 overall so far in the season and 6th ranked in the country. Michael Zorales has more on how their series this weekend against Texas went.
At 35-7 and 11-1 in Big 12 conference play, Oklahoma State looks to close out its home schedule with a series sweep of Texas right here at Cowgirl Stadium. However, Texas comes in having beat number 1 OU last weekend, giving them their first loss of the season.
Having not scored since the first inning, Julia Cottrell stepped up to the plate in the 9th inning in a tie ball game. Down 0-2 in the count, Cottrell hit a line shot over the left center field wall, sending Cowgirl fans home happy with a 3-2 victory. A walk-off solo shot in the bottom of the 9th gave Oklahoma State game 1 of 3 versus Texas in a nail-biting win. After the game, Cottrell described her game-clinching at-bat.
I had 0-2 my second at-bat or third at-bat maybe, and I wasn't going to let what happened last time happen again, so just made the adjustment and didn't want to change my swing.
In a pitcher's duel Friday night, Cowgirl ace Kelly Maxwell improved to 15-1 on the season. Maxwell gave up 2 runs on 7 hits and 2 walks while striking out 10 Longhorn batters. Despite the win, Oklahoma State head coach Kenny Gajewski wasn't impressed with Maxwell's performance.
I did not think that Kelly was very sharp. I thought they had an excellent plan against Kelly, too.
Maxwell outlasted Haley Dolcini of Texas to win 3-2 in a game where home runs were the only source of offense. Cowgirl right fielder Caitlin Carwile homered in the first inning to give Oklahoma State a 2-0 lead, but Texas would answer in the third with a 2-run home run of their own from designated player Mackenzie Parker. It was a hard-fought 3-2 victory for the Cowgirls. They improved to 36-7 on the season with the victory. For News OSU, I'm Michael Zorales.
Oklahoma State has another Big 12 championship to celebrate. The number 6 Oklahoma State women's golf Leanna Bailey won the 2022 Big 12 Women's Golf Individual Championship on Sunday. With the win, Bailey becomes OSU's first individual champion since 2016. This marks the 10th time that Cowgirls have won the individual title in program history. The women's team isn't the only one good at golf. The Oklahoma State men's golf program can be consistently described with one word: successful. The Cowboys program has accumulated 10 NCAA championships and 16 runner-up finishes. Dallas Haggerty has more on how that success is continuing today.
Ricky Fowler, Matt Wolff, Victor Hovland. These are just a few of the top golfers on the PGA Tour. These icons all have one thing in common. They played their collegiate golf in Stillwater for Oklahoma State University. For the last 68 years, the Cowboy men's golf program has been in a category of its own. This includes at least one first-team All-American in 41 of the last 56 years. Since 1974, when Mike Holder became head coach, the Cowboys' tournament success has become nothing short of legendary. Cowboy golf has competed in 541 tournaments over the last 39 years, and have won 209 times. A 38.6 winning percentage has placed the Cowboys in a league of its own.
I hope that's what our kids see. I hope that's what recruits see when they come out here is, again, the American dream that you can make something happen. Whatever you want, you can make it happen. And golf is great that way.
Cowboy golfers have earned national honors on a regular basis. 9 players have been named to the top golfer in the country, ranging from current head coach Alan Bratton in 1994 to Ricky Fowler in 2008. It's just a matter of time until the next top college golfer comes out of Stillwater.
If I could pick, I'd play in the U.S., but I'm totally open to go play other places in the world, play back in Europe, play here. But if I could choose, I'd say the optimal would be playing on the PGA Tour in 5 years.
Cowboy golf's legacy continues right here on the green at Karsten Creek. It's only a matter of time until we see more orange on the PGA Tour. For News OSU, I'm Dallas Haggerty.
Football may seem a long way away, but it may be here before you know it. The Oklahoma State Cowboys just wrapped up their spring finale in Boone Pickens Stadium. The 2-hour event had everything you could want as a football fan. A full contact team scrimmage, 2-minute drills, individual position work, a 7-on-7 period, inside drill, special teams drill, and ball security drills. After all that, the team had all fans in attendance invited onto the turf for a meet and greet with the Cowboy football team. After the impressive season the Pokes had, they look to continue to improve. The Cowboys look to fill in some big holes that are being left behind from those transferring or going to the draft. Mike Gundy says how his team is in a great place, though.
We had a good day. We got a lot of plays in, got some good work. A lot of the young players that needed quality time on that field in front of a crowd got some quality work. So I felt like we had a great day.
That's all for sports. We'll see you next semester.
And that's all for News OSU. It's also our final newscast for the spring 2022 semester. There will be some new faces to the show in the fall. I'm Jolie Salee, and from all of us here at News OSU, have a happy and safe summer.